National Review Capital Matters is a new venture in collaboration with National Review Institute to cover business, economics, and finance topics in a new and distinctly National Review way.
We think that it would be a very good idea to bring the National Review and National Review Institute's message to business communities and finance communities scattered across the country.
When we started it, there really wasn't a place that fought for free enterprise every day. And so there'd be times, of course, the priceless Wall Street Journal would be out there fighting, and at National Review they'd be fighting too, but we wanted organized economic content with content every day.
The case for free enterprise, of course, needs to be made not just in every generation, but it really needs to be made sort of on a continuous basis all the time.
National Review Capital Matters is important now because there's really a historical amnesia as well as a great deal of confusion about capitalism in our economy and where our standard of living comes from and what markets do and why it's important to a democracy.
The solution is economic freedom. The solution is going back to a true free market or free enterprise capitalist economy. We know that as conservatives.
If we really want a 21st century solution for the middle class, for a greater social cohesion, for greater levels of virtue and a society that we do not feel our moral and traditional values collapsing, I suggest that we have to go to the root of where Keynes was really wrong, which was not in his understanding of government spending as an antidote. It was in viewing the human person primarily as a consumer to begin with.
You know, you're not going to read Smith and figure out what he thought the interest rate should be next quarter. That's not what this is about. And so, to the extent that people truncate the scholarship to try to advance political talking points that are going with the political headwinds, I think that doesn't do justice to what we can still learn from him and how we can apply it in the world today. Because I think Adam Smith has a lot of relevancy to the time we find ourselves in, even though it was, born 300 years ago, writing many, many years ago, there's still truth about the direction of policy, about the way we live our lives.
We're not geniuses, but there's lots of people out there who are, and they have great ideas, and they want to invent stuff, and they want to start companies, and they want to do all this stuff, and that's who the American people are. That starting with sources of our strength. I mean, that's a big one, and what they need to be able to do is just be allowed and be permitted to be able to do that.
I'm very much opposed to industrial policy. I think prices really should set as much as you can get free markets and prices to determine where capital goes, the better it is.
Recoveries are like people, and they make choices. Sometimes they choose to come back, and sometimes they choose to continue to stay away. We should never apologize for markets. They don't hurt the church and family, they support church and family, and very few people can communicate all this.
When we talk about policies that do really well for those with assets, for business owners, for entrepreneurs, for high earners, for the 1%, for all sorts of different pejorative terms, we constantly forget to point out how many of the people that are benefiting in that current policy regime did not come from that class. They mobily, dynamically moved into it from work, from production, from innovation, from co-creation with God. This is the story of free enterprise. This is the solution to populist angst. To celebrate mobility, dynamism, the ability for someone in the bottom decile to move to the top decile, which I imagine is true of many people in this room.
And that's really what we're talking about at Capital Matters just about every day. That we, when the Biden administration comes out and says stuff that's patently wrong, then, we call it out. But we're also building an agenda for, the next person who actually cares about the economy, be they a Democrat or a Republican, to make the economy better. What the left wants to do is they want to make it so that you're a fundamentally discredited person. You're a conspiracy theorist if you support and defend free enterprise. Everybody in this room knows that's going on and is really, pissed off about it, and you want to do something about it. And we believe that if we made a place where there are a bunch of us just started writing, that there'd be people from all over the world that would be sending unsolicited manuscripts to us saying, oh, I want to be part of that conversation too. And that's the thing that's happened.
So we're not coming new to these topics. We are building on what has already been built before, but what we're now trying to do is to take it to the next level.
Capital Matters events have happened all over the country already, and we're seeking new venues all the time. And I think that one of the things that we've been astonished with is how overwhelming the demand for Capital Matters product is.